Can you feel it? Can you feel the season around us right now? I'm looking so forward to some cold. A little bit of cold, just a little bit. No shoveling. I don't want that much. But just the kind of cold where it's cold enough to justify a hot drink. And where you can leave your windows open and your air feels fresh. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, hello everybody, welcome. My name is Ian Kirkpattacake. Welcome to the first video of December, which also means it's time for LMIAY. That is, last month I asked you the prompt show that we do on this channel, where I give you guys something to work off of, a little prompt, and you come up with whatever you want, and then submit it, and we read it together and enjoy your creativity here together. This is the third episode. With it being December, that means that LMIAY for January is now live. Link in the description below if you would like to join in on the fun next time. And maybe I hope you will, because I got nothing. No. So, without further ado, let's get started on this month's LMIAY. And this is where a theme song would go if I had one. The first story is called Christmas Camping, and it is by Mr. R. Spoopy, our guacamole man from last month. There once was a very, very lonely man wishing to go camping with his dog when he finally got a raise from his job as a Burger King employee. When he finally got a raise from his job as a Burger King employee, he was finally able to go camping. So he bought all of his needed camping supplies and went off to the campsite. As he arrived at campsite 39, he set up camp with inspiration from his cold dog. After setting up his camp, he wanders off into the woods for a walk while his dog sleeps in the tent. As he walks, he hears twigs break. He shouts out, "Collie, is that you?" He hears nothing, so he keeps walking. Little to his surprise, he hears more twigs breaking. Him, being super confused, says to himself, "What the heck is in the forest?" All of the sudden, a Santa impersonator jumps down from a tree while having a chicken in his mouth. Once landing, he takes the chicken out of his mouth and says,
"I've been checking you out, Mr. Urbanstein."
"How do you know my name?" says Mr. Urbanstein. Just then, he realizes something shiny is sticking out of the Santa impersonator's back pocket.
The end.
I like the detail from his job as a Burger King employee. Callie, I'm going Callie. Callie, I'm hoping that you come and save Mr. Urbanstein, like, soon. I'm worried for Mr. Urbanstein. I don't think Santa wants to stuff his pockets. Or stuff his stock. He wants to stuff his pockets with Mr. Urbanstein's stuff. That's for sure. That was fun. Oh my gosh, the twists. I don't ever know what to expect. I am kind of hoping that there will be a follow-up for this where we can see what happens with Santa. The next story is by Francisco Carlos Domenico Andres Sebastian de Anconia. I hope I said that all correctly. It of course had to be on a day that I am not reading at my best. And it is called Ragnar, or it looks like Rescues. A man sailing solo falls overboard in mid-ocean with nothing but a flotation device. After several days or weeks, he sees on the horizon an enormous, fast-approaching object, strangely silent and without smokestacks nor vapor trail. He frantically kicks to position himself in line with the ship's trajectory. As it approaches, he notices that the bridge resembles that of the front grille of an automobile and that there doesn't appear to be any name or identification number. Not exactly in a position to contest, he gladly gets aboard. The crew members are courteous but unusually discreet about certain questions. After persistent inquiry, he discovers that the engine of the ship is powered by electromagnetic induction using atmospheric electricity as its principal resource. "Where we come from," explained one of the young deckhands, "we jump from sail to this technology, completely bypassing your steam, petrol, or combustion period."
That's ridiculous. What you're saying is not possible and unimaginable as well. Why, you guys have missed the entire Industrial Revolution, the Renaissance, and all its wonderful benefits. Well, listen. You haven't noticed, but I've been checking you out, and nothing you do here is any different from what I've seen elsewhere.
"So you say," replied the deckhand, turning away to get back to his task.
But why?
He said insistently.
How? And what for?
"I'll explain exactly, but I don't think you'll understand," began the crewman, changing to a serious and more severe tone. "Our philosophy is completely integrated into our living on Earth. All of it, metaphysical, creates to our abstract outlook. In short, our philosophics is to never conceive of or invent anything that is harmful or incompatible with our life or living on Earth."
Of course, save and protect our sacred planet. That's nothing new. It's the same all over, and what a mess we've made.
"No," said the deckhand calmly. "Man is the primary. Everything else follows and consequently takes care of itself."
What is man? What a piece of work. A speck of dust, a coagulation of chemicals. If you ask me, he is the worst possible thing that has ever set foot on Earth. What is surprising is that there is anything left that hasn't been completely destroyed. Yes, well, we're efficient, blazing speed technologically. It's hard to keep up sometimes, and as you say, everything corrects itself in the end by the grace of God or nature or something. If you ask me, we're going way too fast and accelerating. No time to self-correct as you see it. Where would you start? We're all over everywhere and nowhere. No one has all the answers, just keep everyone talking, that's the ticket. There is no absolute right or wrong answer, you're no better or different than anybody else. Best to stay positive, optimistic, moving forward, don't look back, keep the faith and peace, and what's so funny?
"Nothing," he said, looking at the sea behind the ship, "except the design of this vessel takes account of looking behind, as you say. What we leave in our wake from sea to sky."
That's way too much. Nothing can take on the responsibility of that size. You have a lot to learn, young fellow.
"I'm 180 years of age."
And now I'm sure you're joking. What do you think? I was born yesterday?
The crewman had already turned away and was gone. The refugee had no other occasion to engage into conversation with him or any other crew member because he was put ashore the next day on an island with enough provisions for several days and assurance from the captain that he would notify the regional coast guard of his location.
What a crazy ship of charlatans,
thought the castaway to himself, happy to finally find his feet firmly implanted in the sand.
Best for me to forget the whole thing happened. No one would ever believe me anyway.
looks like you pissed off the crew. I can't words. Just words. Looks like you pissed off the crew and they're like, "I would just rather not deal with you. Go sit on this island." I'm wondering if it was aliens. Aliens doing a ghost ship. I mean, obviously 180 years old. That took a turn. I didn't know where we were going to go with a castaway. The next submission is by Lord Kaltenberg. And it doesn't look like there is a title here. "Murder!" the middle-aged woman yelled in the tiny office kitchen. Margaret was more annoyed about the mismatch of Miss Baker's outfit. The pearls of her necklace were unsightly on the average day, but while she swayed back and forth, her ugly head turned slightly red. She looked more like an angry dog about to burst into tears, chained to dull grayish-white Christmas baubles. "There now, no need to get upset." She hugged her. In the back of her mind, she tried to tell herself that she was soothing her. In reality, she just wanted to get that ugly face out of her field of view. And since simply walking away would have turned her relationship with Martha sour, this was the only thing left to do. As she calmed down and let go of her, Margaret turned around and poured a cup of coffee for both of them. Thank you, my dear. Without you, I sometimes don't know if I could ever be calm. There were plenty of reasons to be alarmed. A man, 28 years old, was murdered a floor below them. The office building was only 8 stories tall, but over 40 different offices were present, most of them lawyers, who didn't earn enough to get bigger accommodations. The man was found leaning against the window, propped up by several chairs. Blood flowed down the glass panes on the floor. It's best if we all just get back to work and not think about the horrid thing. Margaret was now looking to finally break away from Martha, which wasn't easy, but today she was more reserved. Then Mr. Hanning came waltzing in. Hey, my dears. Hope none of you got spooked from the racket below. He burst into laughter while balancing a cigar in the corner of his mouth. Martha looked shocked and bewildered and stormed out of the room. Maybe we all need some rest. Tell you what, I get you home and do some work alone today. Sounds good, huh? Hanning had a laugh that matched his figure. Massive. Thank you, sir. Margaret always nailed the good girl impression. She told Martha, got her things, and headed home. Late at night, after spending hours in her favorite bar, she walked up the stairs to her apartment. It was late, around midnight perhaps. Turning the keys in the lock, she suddenly heard something falling over inside the apartment. The cat? She held her purse tightly and gathered the courage. Slowly, she opened the door. Nothing, only darkness. She quickly closed the door and started to make her way towards her bedroom. Lights. I've been checking you out, Miss Lynn. Both drew their guns. Bruh, there is so much character in this piece, like between these 3 characters with Margaret and Hanning and Martha. Sorry, there were 2 M's, so I was like... There's so much character between these 3, and I oh my gosh, I love the sassiness of this character up here at the top. I'm only hugging her so I don't have to look at her ugly face anymore. I'm so into these characters. I want to know more. And I want to know more about this building and why there was a murder there and how long ago was that murder. I am so invested in this, but especially because of the voice and the comedy here. The character, man, the character is where it is at. And the descriptions in that first paragraph were really good too. The descriptions were descriptive. This is what my degree gets me for speaking abilities. My gosh, my lord, thank you for gracing us with this. That was a lot of fun. I would read more of, I don't know, I am very, if anybody tells you that it's not in the funny, they're lying. It is all about the funny. You can win anybody over with good humor, I swear. And the last submission for today will be from Mason V. And the submission is titled Excerpt from The Silent Death, Book 4 of the Blood Angel series. Let me just get in the mood real quick.
Blood Angel, are you alone?
The male vampire questions with a Mexican accent. I was alone. Phoenix and Lamentation were on the mission in a surrounding area searching for this vampire. My spy master would have alerted me before Marcos found me in a dark alleyway searching for his rogue coven. I could handle Marcos and his crew on my own. Still, I was curious to hear about what had caught my royal guard's attention. In butchered English, Marcos said,
I've been checking you out for a while now.
The words seemed to slip off his tongue like wet cement. Gross. I hope you mean you've been watching me for a while.
Always a backtalker. Soon you will be silent.
His grasp of the English language was comical, however it did sound like dull swords clashing together. Contrast to his hilarious vernacular. He looked like a guy that had been stabbed in the face about 1,000 times with an ice pick and had his nose rearranged for fun. Behind me, 4 heavy thuds slammed into the cobblestone street behind me. Reinforcements, it seemed. Marcos smirked, revealing his sharp fangs. At the same time, white iron wrapped around my left wing. My right one dematerialized before it could be captured. How'd you come across white iron? It's only forged in the Vale. Last time I checked, you weren't Valerian, just an average bloodsucker. Marcus rolled his eyes, dismissing my question. His command was swift. Do it. The pull of the chain broke my wing instantly. Blinding pain rocked through my back sternum, but I did not scream. I spun to the left toward the unfortunate asshole that broke my wing, only to fail. A heavy object slammed into the base of my skull. Lights out. I came to as I was pulled into their lair. My ankle was dislocated from my weight pulling against it as I was dragged for however long I was unconscious. My wing twisted behind me as the cream and lavender feathers frayed in the process. Spots clouded my vision from the shock my body was fighting, but it didn't win. I blacked out for a second time. The next time my eyes cracked open, I was strapped down to a metal table with more white iron. The leather covering my forearms and shins had been split open for easy removal of my bones. Silver blood spilled from my wounds. 4 missing bones. Regeneration of my limbs was going to be a bitch. Marcos appeared by my side. His broken attempt at English was further hindered by his elongated fangs. Apparently, blood and broken bones excited him. His speech slurred.
Oh my goodness, you're not asleep. Too bad for your feelings, this is gonna hurt.
As he waved a big-ass pair of rusted pliers in my face.
Blood Angel, open up, it's time to watch you. This time, I'll see your mutant teeth bleed.
My name is Misery, you fuck. One thing you missed while checking me out was that I don't flinch when confronted with pain. Marcos shoved the pliers into my mouth and yanked out my left incisor and canine fangs. The rich taste of blood pooled in the back of my throat. I didn't scream. Teeth would regenerate, or so I thought. Nothing could make me scream from pain. I took 86 lashes 100 years ago. My flesh had been destroyed and my rib bones chipped away, but I did not scream. I could handle missing teeth and limb bones. My right canine tooth ripped out of my mouth and took some flesh with it. The rusty pliers clamped around my last fang as a cold rush of wind blasted through the humid room, leaving a thin layer of frost on everything and everyone. I knew another Valerian was nearby. My smile toward Marcos faded when the pliers collided with my face. This was the 3rd time I'd been knocked out in one night. A new record for me. A distant voice woke me up. It belonged to him, the one whose name I no longer am allowed to speak. He was the one I took 86 lashes for a century ago. With a righteous anger, the warrior said, "You continue to fail her, Phoenix. You're her royal guardian. Yet you do not protect her. It's your fault her body is neither Valerian nor vampire anymore." There's so much going on here. I'm so interested. And obviously, this is an excerpt from like a 4th book, so there's like a build going on that brings us to this moment, but you can already feel the intensity of like all of the elements playing together and relationships between characters. You can feel it there without knowing it. I'm very interested. And what brought us here? What is going on? I can't help it. I am almost always interested in learning about somebody else's version of a vampire until, like, I'd say until somebody disappoints me with their version of the vampire, but everybody wants to read the next vampire story and see if it's good or not. So, you know. Fun names also get me. Like Lamentation and Misery. I love stuff like that. And you know, despite being surrounded by snow, it kept me warm on the inside. Thank you to everybody who is a part of December's LMIAY, and I'm looking forward to next month. I don't forget previous months, you guys. I remember. And we didn't have one anonymous this month. I am so excited. Not because you're not allowed to use anonymous, but I'm hoping that some of those anonymies felt more confident in sharing their names. And so, like, or sharing their writers' names or whatever. And so, like, we're maybe getting to know each other. I know, it's not, anytime I actually try to be wholesome, it sounds cheesy. And anyway, that was fun. Thank you for coming, everybody. And hopefully see you next month. And hope you enjoyed the stories. Leave your love for the submissions down below. Maybe check out some of the authors if they have presence online. Oh, and if you like this kind of content, please remember to like, share it, subscribe for more, because I'm hoping as long as people are interested in this, we're going to keep doing it, and I enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot. And that said, have a great rest of your week. Have a good weekend, and see you Monday. And don't die. Dear Madam Astra, that's me. We regret to inform you that on August 1st, your employer, Agatha Jane Benedict, owner of the Benedict estate, peacefully passed away in her sleep. Oh, that's so sad. Wait. Let me try that again. Oh my goodness. That's so sad. Yeah, I think I'm ready. With millions of dollars on the line and the opportunity for your every need to be taken care of for life. Tell me, is there anything more valuable than that? I didn't think so. Dead End Drive is a dark comedy novel that makes 3 promises. 1, an illustrious estate in Louisiana. 2, an opulent dinner affair for all in attendance. And 3, and most importantly of all, lots and lots of competitive murder. So if you're looking for a cozy book to settle in with for the spooky season, I've only got one question for you. Will I see you at the whale reading?